Well, good afternoon, and thank you all for being with us today. We are honored to welcome Governor McMaster and so many other distinguished guests to Clemson University for this very important bill signing. We have with us today leaders in the General Assembly who were integral to the passage of this bill, including Senators Thomas Alexander and Ross Turner, and Representatives Davey Hyatt, Jason Elliott, and Tim McInnes. We also have members of our Board of Trustees, including Patty McAbee, Trustee Nikki McCarter, and Trustee Kim Wilkerson, and members of the IPTAY Board of Directors, coaches, and leadership staff from the Neary Family Student Athlete Enrichment Center. Governor, thank you for being here, and thank you for choosing Clemson as the site for this event. Governor, you have been incredibly supportive of this university and of higher education over the years, and I truly appreciate your leadership and your service. Today we are here to celebrate an important piece of legislation that will have a great benefit for our student athletes. It will also help South Carolina schools stay competitive in our ability to recruit top student athletes. I want to thank my colleagues across the state for joining us today and for working with us to advocate for this bill. This bill exemplifies what we can achieve when we all work together. And now it is my honor to introduce my friend, the 117th Governor of the great state of South Carolina, Henry McMaster.
Thank you. Thank you, President Clements. This is a happy occasion. I just want to be sure I got this straight now. Bill Kirkland, these are not the athletes over here. These are the athletes on this side. We got that? Matt, stand up. Let him take a look. That's going. That's a big man right there. He's on the line. Y'all, thank y'all for being here. This is really a happy occasion. We just got through, as you know, with the big golf match down at Congaree. A lot of us hadn't heard about it, but it's a fabulous place. That was our third major PGA tournament in South Carolina in 3 successive months. That is, we had the Heritage in in April, then Kiowa, the Ocean Course, in May, and then this in June, and we've been wall to wall on television. And the great thing about that is people look at that and they see what South Carolina looks like. They see the ocean, they see the people, they see what you see looking out the windows here. They see the beautiful low country. And what we like to tell them is, we like to say, come see why we love this place. And one reason we love this place is because these great schools, the great athletes, the great teams, and we believe that excellence in one area begets excellence in another, whether it's academics, whether it's research, whether it's athletics, whatever it is. When it puts South Carolina on the map, that's better for all of us, because we attract and inspire talent, both from other places as well as homegrown. But South Carolina is a place that believes in free enterprise. We know that there are 3 pillars to success. It's education, the environment, and economics. And you can't have success in one without success in the other. And so this is a part of education and also a part of economics. This is an exercise, this new law is an exercise in free enterprise that allows those who have attracted the attention and achieved a certain status in athletics particularly, to be recognized for that without interfering with their academic performance. So it's something whose time has come, and to see South Carolina being involved and being in the vanguard of it is another great indication of how we work together. As President Clements said, we collaborate, we communicate, we cooperate, and we're like a big family, and that's why we get things done. And I need to say, President Clements, I may have told you before, but way back when Clemson was all male, my mother, who was a Winthrop student, was the honorary cadet colonel of Clemson College back many years ago. I got a big plaque at the house that says it. So I'm proud to be here, proud to be with this great team And that team, I'm referring to the athletes as well as the others involved in making this a success. And one of the members of that team is a leader in the Senate. His name's Ross Turner. He's one of the prime sponsors of this. I'd like to ask him to come forward and speak.
Thank you, Governor. Thank you. They asked me to give you a little bit of perspective of what happened on the Senate side with the bill. First and foremost, I want you to know, obviously, there's a lot of great people up here, which means there's a lot of great people underneath us that make us look great. So first, right off the bat, Donna Barton is the brains behind all of this. And the cool thing about Donna Barton on the Senate education staff was she looked at the other states' bills, Alabama, Florida, Georgia, before it was even passed, and looked at those, but she really went to the NCAA report from the spring of 2020 where they had done a study committee for a year and followed their recommendations. So this bill that we have in South Carolina is unique to South Carolina, had 3 priorities. It was one, to protect the student athlete. There's a lot of scrupulous people out there, unscrupulous people out there that will take advantage of people. Then second, make sure education remained a priority in schools because these are student athletes. And third, make sure student athletes are put on the same level playing field that the other students in college are, because they have the right to earn money as well from this crazy social media world that I don't totally understand. And I'm an old school guy. When this first came up, I was going pay for play, and they go, no, this isn't pay for play. This is name, image, likeness. And it took me a little bit to get a hold of that. I think our final vote in the Senate, there's still some people that just want it to be like it was 40 years ago. It's not going to be like that, and it's a new world, and we've got to adapt to it. I'm glad South Carolina's on the forefront. I'm glad we had Donna Barton to help get us there, and I appreciate getting it through the Senate, and I'm going to turn it over to Davey Hyatt to tell you how much easier a time he had in the House.
Thank you, Senator Turner, and I'm not going to stand here and take credit for it. I'm joined by Representative Tim McGinnis and Representative Jason Elliott. Representative McGinnis was the subcommittee chair of the bill that it went through in education, and he and I talked quite a bit about what needed to be done, and after the Senate struggled with it, we brought it to the House, and I think the final vote was, 119-2 or something like that. So we appreciate y'all struggling to get it to us. But it was, we realized what it was. When Clemson and the University of South Carolina first came to me, they said, we want to run something by you. Now, I serve as chairman of the Agriculture Commission, so this is, not kind of in my ballpark, but they came to me and said, hey, look, we would like to talk to you about this. And as I was sitting and talking to the representatives of the University of South Carolina and Clemson, they started laying this out to me, and I said, why do you want to do this? Why is this important? And they looked at me and they said, because if we don't, South Carolina, the state of South Carolina will never compete again. Every other state was doing it, and South Carolina had fallen behind a little bit. And we know all the great athletes that are coming into this state, some sitting right here in our midst today. We know about all the great athletes that are coming into this state, just like there's a lot of people. And by the way, Governor, there's one thing we need to remind those folks that are coming to visit us. They can visit, but man, we got enough of them. Let's don't ask them to stay a whole lot more. I was on the interstate the other day, man alive. We're glad to have them, but thank you for coming, and come again. But we can't be competitive if we didn't pass this. And I'm like Senator Turner, I'm kind of old school. It's going to take some convincing for me to be convinced to pay to play. But then I also understood that young men like this and young ladies, these male and female athletes, all across the country, this is what's happening. This is what's going to happen in the near future. And so I felt like it was very important. And I felt, after I talked to these folks, I said, that is something we've got to remain competitive in South Carolina. We've got everything else in our favor, but we can't lose this for our young people. So Governor McMaster got on board quick and said, you get it to my desk, we'll get it signed. And that's why we're here today, is so Governor McMaster can sign this in front of you folks so that you can see that the state of South Carolina cares about you. We're glad you're here. We want to give the best opportunity for an education while you're here. And then when you leave here, we want you to represent the state of South Carolina and be proud to be from South Carolina. We thank you for coming here, just as we thank everybody else that's a part of this great state. So it's very important, and I want to thank my colleagues in the House and the Senate. Senator Alexander had a big hand in it, and we just want to thank everybody that had a hand in it. I want to thank the governor. I want to thank everybody that's going to keep us competitive. Young people, the state of South Carolina cares about you. I know it doesn't go into effect to July 1st, 2022, but the reason we did that is because it's going to take a year to get the kinks worked out. And we want everybody else to work them out before we have to put it into play. We've already heard about some kinks in other states that tried to rush it through. So this first year is going to let them work it out, and then we're going to be ready to go July 1st, 2022. Now, somebody told me, I'd like to see you get somebody to pay for your name, image, and likeness. I don't think anybody would be willing to pay for my name, image, and likeness. But I know they will for you folks. And so we're here to help, and we're glad we can help. Congratulations. At this time, I want to introduce Chance Miller, who's representing the University of South Carolina.
Thank you, and good afternoon. On behalf of the University of South Carolina, our athletics director, Ray Tanner, and our president, Harris Pastides, and myself, I want to take this time to really thank Governor McMaster, Senators Hembry and Turner, our representatives Allison, McGinnis, Elliott, and Height, and the countless other individuals that helped move this bill forward. We have a comprehensive name, image, and likeness bill now that is going to help our student athletes across the state. This is a great day for Gamecock student athletes and student athletes across the state. They should be proud of this moment. This is a moment that you're going to be able to utilize in the years coming forward. I'd also like to take this time, we from the University of Athletics, University of Gamecock Athletics, would like to thank our colleagues from across the state, from Clemson to Coastal Carolina, USC Upstate, and South Carolina State. While we may be opponents off or on the field, this was a very collaborative effort that will help all of our student athletes in the state of South Carolina. You know, the mission as athletic administrators for our student athletes has always been to educate our student athletes in the classroom and on and off the field. And we talked about name, image, and likeness being a new endeavor, something that's challenging. However, that just adds to the mission as administrators, that this is a challenge we need to take head on to be able to help our student athletes navigate name, image, and likeness and maximize it to the best of their ability for themselves and their family while they're in college and in their professional endeavors afterwards. Gamecock Athletics has taken that challenge on firsthand. We've partnered with Altia Sports to develop a very comprehensive educational programming related to name, image, and likeness, and will surround our student athletes with the personnel, the companies, and the resources and tools to help our student athletes maximize their potential while they are in college. And I know my colleagues from around the state are doing something similar as well. Again, just want to take the time to thank everybody that was associated with this bill. This is a great thing for the state of South Carolina, and we are proud as Gamecock Athletics that the state of South Carolina is on the forefront of name, image, and likeness. Thank you again, and I will turn it over to Clemson Athletics Director, Dan Radakovich.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. One of the perils of being the last speaker is that each of the things that I wrote down has already been said. So I want to just take a moment to reiterate a few things to the bill sponsors, to the governor, to all the people that are behind me who were there to help move this forward, and especially to Donna Barton. Donna did a fantastic job in making sure that this bill moved forward, because without her help, as Senator Turner said, it wouldn't have got off of ground zero. So Donna, thank you so much. This bill represents a commitment to our student athletes, and we're grateful for the way that they represent us. This location that we're in right now is extremely significant because we are 2 floors up of the Nieri Family Student Athlete Enrichment Center, which is where this is the hub of our academic area on our campus. And that's what's so important. Our ability to educate our student athletes on their day-to-day work, as well as now giving them the education associated with name, image, and likeness. Those are really great goals for us and things that we will certainly do. As Chance just talked about, they've gone with a company, Altius. We are working with a company called Open Doors. Again, giving that education to our student athletes, giving that content to our student athletes to maximize their name, image, and likeness. So as we sit here today, it's a joyous day in intercollegiate athletics. It's one that I think our student athletes will remember for years and years to come. And I know that Coach Pugh from South Carolina State, who's with me, will also do a great job of giving that information to his student athletes as well. So on behalf of Clemson University, I just want to say thank you to all the great work, Governor, to the representatives who are here and the senators who are here that allowed this day to happen. Governor, thank you so much.
Thank you. Let's do this one.
Yes, sir.
That's right. Watch this, y'all. I'm not going to have an incident right here between Carolina and Clemson. You'll notice I'm giving these 2 pins at the same time.